I let Claude for Excel read a model I didn't build, and it explained it better than the analyst who did. I'm not exaggerating. This wasn't a toy or a sample spreadsheet. It was a multi-tab financial model with nested formulas, timing logic, conditional assumptions, and an output that I didn't trust. Claude read the entire thing in seconds and surfaced the assumption I'd missed. And if you work in FP&A, accounting, or finance, this might replace the most painful part of your job. Now let's be honest about what that painful part actually is. The worst part of Excel isn't building models. It's inheriting them. You open a file with 12 tabs, named ranges from 2017, a sheet called Final V9, use this one, and hard-coded numbers hiding like landmines. Then your CFO asks why net income dips in the 9th month, and you're thinking, well, give me 2 hours, maybe more, and I'll find out. But Claude for Excel changes this dynamic. It doesn't just look at one formula. It reads the entire model. It understands dependencies, cross-sheet references, assumptions flowing into outputs, and where logic branches. It's like having a senior analyst whose only job is explaining spreadsheets to you. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up Claude for Excel, what it can do in real finance workflows, show you 3 real demos inside live models, explain where it can backfire if you're careless, and how you can use it safely without damaging your credibility. Now, let's get tactical and set this up correctly because the setup matters more than people think. The first thing you're going to want to do is open Excel Desktop. Now, I recommend the desktop version because the performance and the context handling is going to be stronger there. This is different than Copilot for Excel if you used it, where it's actually better online. So we want to open up the Excel desktop. Now, you'll see I've already got it installed, but let me show you how you would set up Claude. So you would go to add-ins. In add-ins, you simply search for Claude. Claude is going to come up. It's going to look just like this. You're going to hit that button and instantly it's going to be installed. Now, once you hit it, the login screen is going to come up, and this is where you need to have a Claude account, and you need to have a paid Claude account. This is going to work with every paid Claude account. It's just not going to work with the free account. Now, to get Claude, what you're going to want to do is go to claude.ai. When you get there, you're going to hit the Try Claude button. Again, this is if you don't have a subscription. You're going to hit the Try Claude button. You're going to simply enter your email and sign up. And again, you need a paid level. Now, if I go to the paid levels, I can come to the pricing overview right here to show you. So free is what a lot of people have. It's not going to work with that. You'll see under the Pro plan, which is the first entry level of the paid plan, that's the first spot you're going to see Claude and Excel available, and it's available on everything higher than that. Really, if you're doing this personally, Pro is all you need. Don't go fancier than that. But if you're doing this for a business, you may want to consider some of the Max or Enterprise subscriptions, especially just from the data standpoint. So that's going to get you all set up in Claude. You just need to have an account. Once you have an account, then you can come back to the add-in. You can hit the login button. We'll simply log in the same way that we did before. We're going to authorize it to access all of our data, and then the app is going to be ready to go. It's critical as you do that you authorize a full connection. Otherwise, Claude's not going to be able to work with and understand your entire model. Now, after signing in, you don't want to start immediately editing formulas. You want to start with a safe test. Find a non-trivial formula in your workbook and explain what this formula is doing step by step, including upstream inputs. What this is going to do is it's going to test comprehension, not automation. If the explanation matches reality and references the correct inputs, then you know Claude is reading your model correctly. Don't treat this like a macro recorder. Treat it like onboarding a very fast analyst to your file. So let's go ahead and do exactly that. Let me come over here and find a formula. Perfect. Look at that long formula there. Do we want to read that by our own? We do not. So I have G16 selected. I'm simply going to ask Claude to please explain this formula, including upstream inputs. We'll send that away, and then it should explain the cell we've selected. So I'll look at the formula in G16 and trace the upstream inputs. Let me gather the information. And we want to see this explain that it's going, it looks like, to the data sheet to pull sales revenue information, which would in theory be some of our cash in. So this is our sales revenue for week 6. That is correct, week 6 sales revenue. It's using let to define name variables. So here's all of the variables. Here's the week and date boundaries. Here's the month, month A, month B. So it really is explaining every single thing that's going into this function. It's still responding for us. Awesome. There's the upstream input map. So these are exactly the inputs and the way they're flowing in. So in short, this formula takes a monthly budget number from the datasheet, slices it into a weekly amount, handling weeks that cross month boundaries by prorating based on calendar days. Fantastic. So it clearly has an understanding of our model, and it was able to look across multiple sheets. If you haven't already, make sure to click the link in the description and join my free weekly newsletter, Finance Automation Insider. I send a copy every Wednesday with tips, tricks, and hacks just like this, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Plus, when you join, I'll send you a free copy of my guide to 15 5-minute finance automations. So click the link in the description to get started. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clear this chat out because I want to go back to the main screen and I want to clarify what Claude for Excel is actually good at because it's important to have the right expectations. Claude is strongest in 4 areas, and they're the areas listed here. It's strong in building financial models. It's strong in explaining the workbooks, breaking down formulas into plain English and explaining each piece like we just saw. It's fantastic at transforming messy data into something more usable, and it's fantastic at debugging formulas. There's a few other things kind of springing from this as we think about financial modeling that I like to use it for. One of the biggest things there is scenario planning. But these 4 things you see on the screen, that's really where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. Again, financial models include scenario planning. This is where we're going to get our best information. If you try to go beyond these 4 things, you may be more disappointed. Most critically, what Claude does not do is replace your judgment. It does not understand your business context unless you tell it, and it should never be used as an autopilot. The right mental model for Claude in Excel is compression. Claude compresses the time it takes you to understand what's happening inside of a model. Now, that reclaimed time is what you reinvest into thinking, decision-making, and leadership. So with that, let me show you what this actually looks like in practice more than just reading a formula. So for our first demo, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to broadly ask Claude to explain the entire workbook and how it functions. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's assume that this is a workbook. So this is a 13-week cash flow forecast. This is a 13-week cash flow forecast for the F9 Finance Coffee Shop because I'm obsessed with coffee. So that's what we're going to use. And let's just say that an analyst has handed this to me. I've never seen it before, and I want Claude to explain it to me. So we'll ask Claude, please explain this entire workbook, how it's connected and how it works since I have just taken it over. We'll go ahead and send this away. So this is just a model explanation, and we'll see if it gives back. Let's give a little bit more room here because we're really interested in seeing what this says. So let's see, it's going to read all 3 sheets, very quickly understood kind of what data was available in here. It's reading those, it has a complete picture, and it's already coming back explaining it. So this is a rolling 13-week cash flow forecast for a business with 3 locations. 3 sheets flow into each other. It's got data, then forecast, then stress testing or scenarios. So data has the source data. There's a structured table. This is what's in the table. It's got actuals and budget. Here's the forecast model. It's controlled in the top left. Then there's the cash flow lag table and the weekly grid. This is really great. It's explaining kind of where all the formula references are, kind of what all the naming conventions are. And then the stress testing running 5 different scenarios. It even explains the scenarios for us and how those scenarios are functioning. Wow, this is really cool. This would be, this could be 30 minutes to an hour of research just to understand this. And then here's how it all connects. And this is really cool. Key maintenance actions. So how to roll it forward, how to update actuals, adding CapEx, tweaking scenarios, and filtering by location. And then offers to dive deeper into part of the model. What a cool analysis. Now note that the important part here isn't just the time saved. It's that I can feel confident touching the model. I can now explain the model and how it functions, and I can start working with it. I'm not guessing. I understand the structure now after just a couple of minutes because Claude has been able to so nicely explain all the connections to each other and help me understand where the model is. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post brand new videos every week, and I don't want you to miss a thing. Now let's talk about where people mess this up because this is important. The fastest way to destroy trust with this tool is to treat it like autopilot. Some people install Claude, ask it to fix a formula, accept whatever it suggests, and move on. But that is reckless. You are still accountable for the numbers. This is not automation in the sense of pressing a button and walking away. This is compression from confusion to clarity. Claude explains, you decide. Claude proposes, you approve. If you keep that hierarchy clear, this becomes an advantage. If you blur that line, it becomes a risk. The goal is not to remove yourself from the process. The goal is to remove wasted cognitive effort. So if Excel is still eating your nights and you're still manually tracing formulas before every important meeting, the next section is where this really pays off. We've covered explanation, understanding the model, and now we're going to move into debugging and scenario reasoning. This is where this shifts from helpful to transformational. Now remember, the outcome here is time saved, stress reduced, and confidence gained in front of leadership. Debugging is a perfect way to use this. So let's go to the model and let's just break something. Let's see where we can break something. I'm going to go to week 7 and let's just pull out some random things that should be adding in here. Okay. And then our ending cash, let's just move our net cash flow here. Let's move our beginning cash over here and just kind of throw things off. All right, we're gonna hide our little triangles here. All right, and then let's just tell it that we think there's an error and see if it can help us find it. So I'm simply gonna tell Claude, I think there's an error on the cash flow model. Help me find it and correct it. So we'll send it away and see if it can find those errors that we just inserted into the file. Let's see, the changes suggest something is off with the formulas. Let me check the current state of the key cells. I found it. The error is in week 7 net cash flow. The formula is missing 2 items. It's only summing 5 items. So it caught this one. It did not catch this one in E yet. I am going to let it fix the week 7 net cash flow formula. Let's go ahead and allow that. All right, we'll come back to the formula that we broke. Beautiful. So it correctly caught that and fixed it. Now it's saying it now correctly returns the value. Let me verify that everything else is also corrected. So here's the error. It's all fixed. And let's try again. So we put 2 errors in. Let's see if we can find the second one. So let's just say it still looks like there's an error. Can you find it? Let's see if it can find our other error that we inserted in the ending cache. All right, it's comparing the formula. Is it going to catch it? Okay, so it's saying row 25 all looks correct now, which it is because we broke row 27. I noticed some weeks have hard-coded values and other are 0. Oh, I think we might have tricked it with this one. Okay, so it says row 25 checks out. Now it's checking 26 to 27. That is where we put the other error, so let's see if it gets it. It's very interesting to see that this keeps going when it doesn't initially find the error. Now, it is important to point out again when I said that you need to be checking everything, it didn't know there was the second error on its first pass. We had to tell it it looked wrong. So you have to work in partnership and not just take it. But it is fascinating to see it's still looking because we identified an error. It's trying to find it. Let's see if it finds it. And it found it. There's an error in week 4 ending cache. That was the other thing we broke. So because I gave it approval to fix everything automatically, it's fixing the formula. It's making sure it all cascaded downstream correctly. All right, so right now it's checking everything in the model. It's fixed. This was the error, and this is what happened. There was a copy and paste error. So now we fixed both of the errors we put in, and we didn't really have to lift a finger aside from that one time we confirmed that we wanted it to make changes. But then now that we've given permission, it's just making our changes for us. Have any questions? Well, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I read everyone, and I am more than happy to help. So now let's get really fancy. So far we've asked it to explain the model, we've had it debug some errors, and now let's see if it can adjust our scenarios. So I'm going to go over to our scenarios tab, and so we've got these 5 scenarios. We have the base, sales down 10%, costs up 10%, AR delay, and combined stress across a bunch of them. So that's all well and good, but let's toss something else at Claude. All right, so I'm going to give it a pretty broad prompt, and I'm just going to say, help me adjust the scenarios model for an early capital payment of $100,000 coming due. Very broad. Let's see how Claude handles this. We'll send that away, and we'll let it do its magic. All right, so it's examining the scenario sheet to understand the current structure and how it's set up. It's saying it understands it, and it wants to ask me a couple of questions before making changes. I certainly don't mind that. Okay, so if there's an early capital payment, when would it hit? It's actually something else. This would come into week 10 or 11. So we're saying one would pull into this period as an additional payment. So we'll send that away. We're saying we want an additional capital payment on top of what we've already got to come in. How should this be modeled? We want to add this to all scenarios. So that way we can see the combined stress of all the different scenarios. So it's an additional capital payment. don't have a preference on approach. Here's the plan. It's going to add a new parameter column. It's going to update the 10 formula. It's going to set the $100,000 value. It's seeing if column L is empty. It is. So there's the potential additional capital. All right, so we can actually just watch it. I mean, we were watching it change our page as it goes. It's updating the week 10 column. It's changing the cash flow formula for us. Here we go. We can watch it updating each of the individual scenarios. Wow, this is cool. Yep, so there's all 5 of the scenarios updated. It's verifying that the cash is cascading and adjusting. I like that it goes back and verifies. This new agent technology is just fantastic. Because if you remember, this used to be kind of prompt response, but now we're getting all of the work and it's even checking its work as it goes. So that's really cool. All right, so it's now done and updated. It made 2 changes. It updated the week 10 formula. It updated the parameter column. Here's the impact, and you'll see everything came down by exactly 100,000. And there are 2 scenarios that have negative cash that we want to watch out for. So at some point during these scenarios with either combined stress or an AR delay of 2 weeks or more, we go into negative cash. But all of that was done automatically for us. And then it looks like Claude goes and kind of condenses the conversation so they can understand what we've talked about so far. How cool is that? So here's what actually changed for me after using Claude consistently in my finance workflows. Model reviews became dramatically faster. Instead of spending 30 to 60 minutes tracing logic, I started being able to understand structure in minutes of any file I was handed. Explanations in meetings became cleaner because I could understand the drivers more clearly, even if I wasn't that familiar with the file. I stopped saying, I'll get back to you as often because I could trace issues quickly, sometimes even live. And the biggest shift wasn't technical. It was psychological. My team and I felt more confident touching inherited models. Now that confidence compounds. When you spend less time deciphering spreadsheets, you spend more time thinking strategically. That is a career upgrade, not just a productivity upgrade. Now, before we head out, let me give you the exact rules I follow so this stays an advantage and never becomes a liability. Always ask for explanations before edits. Never apply changes blindly. Read the logic and confirm it aligns with business intent. Definitely keep using version control between major changes. You want to be able to revert if needed. Treat Claude like a very fast junior analyst. It can reason well, but it still needs oversight. If you operate with these guardrails, this becomes one of the highest leverage tools that you can add to your Excel workflow. Now, here's the part most people ignore. Tools like Claude only work well inside clean systems. If your data is messy, your assumptions are undocumented, and your workflow is chaotic, AI is just going to amplify that chaos. The real advantage comes from combining tools with repeatable finance workflows, clean model architecture, documented assumptions, and structured review processes. Tools are accelerators, systems are multipliers. If you build the system first, tools like Claude become unfair advantages. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then you need to check out my video on getting started with AI agents. It's going to take things even further to save you time. I'll catch you over there. Until then, this is Mike signing off from F9 Finance. Cheers.